What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another After Pill live stream. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Know y'all been waiting on the end of the week. Got my coffee going. A lot to discuss here. A lot to discuss. Oh, this is a new button right here. Let's see what this does. Oh, okay. So we can set gifts up now. So I guess let's start that goal. Let's start that goal then. That's something new. But what's going on? What's going on? Make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all come on in and hit that like button. Make sure y'all come on in. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We got a lot to talk about. Y'all already seen the title. As I've been saying for I don't know how long I've been saying it now. I've been preaching to the choir for probably a year and a half now. I've been preaching to the choir for like a year and a half. I've been telling y'all to get on your ish. I've been telling y'all what was to come. I've been telling y'all winter is coming. I've been telling y'all. And now, as y'all can see, shit is hitting the fan. Shit is hitting the fan. Shit is hitting the fan. Winter is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Winter is coming. Right? Make sure you come on in and hit that like button. Make sure you come on in and subscribe if you're new. Coffee is in my cup. That's what's in my cup. Coffee. Just now getting my morning started. Get a little stretch in. Waiting to everybody come on in. We 3 minutes in. Everybody's still piling in. Everybody's still coming on in the chat. Tap, good morning. What's going on? What's going on? We just now getting started, getting my little stretch on. We're gonna have a great discussion this morning. Next level, what's going on? Jay, what's going on? Go guy, you don't need to know my area code. I'm in Texas. Next level, what's going on? I appreciate it. But yeah, we got a lot to discuss. 70%. This is huge. And I believe it's up. I believe it's up 23% from last year. Unfiltered Grind, what's going on? Shouts out to Unfiltered Grind. Make sure y'all go over there and tap into his YouTube. He over there grinding. Make sure y'all check him out. Mega Maniac, what's going on? Harry Goonin is up 500%. I believe it. Harry, I believe that. Good morning. Shouts out to all Texans in the house. Shouts out to Texans, man. Harry says Goonin is up 500%. I believe it. I believe it. Because how the economy is going right now, I believe it. Because here's the thing: people need something to people need to escape, right? People need to escape. So the belief in the American dream, once again, has declined year over year after year, right? Does that mean that it's not achievable? No, that's not what we're saying. It definitely is achievable. However, Most people won't get to it. Most people, we're not talking about gooning right now. Somebody in the comments probably can answer that for you, right? So before we even dive into this, right? Because I'm gonna read this. So the name the title of this is How Americans Say They View the American Dream in 2025, right? Almost 70% of US adults say the American dream or the idea that hard work pays off doesn't hold true anymore, right? So we're gonna tap into that and get you guys' opinion on that, and go from there. But first and foremost, we got to start this off with the creed of the outlier, like we do all the time. Creed of the outlier. If you don't know, I'm actually upload the creed of the outlier into my post, so everybody can see what the creed of the outlier is. You can read along if you want to, you know, blase, blase, blah. Go Guys I said the dream is just that, a dream. Other J says good morning. What's going on? So if you're just now coming in, we're going to be talking about how most Americans now do not even believe in the American dream, do not even believe that hard work pays off, right? To a certain extent. But let's go ahead and get the creed of the outlier over with. I walk alone because I was never meant to follow. I was born to build what others were too weak to imagine. They rejected me for my strength, envied me for my presence, and feared the truth in my voice. So they gossiped, mocked, tried to shrink me, but I didn't bend and I didn't fold, and I won't start now. I do not chase the approval of the herd. I walk above it. I see through the mask and I speak with conviction, force, and pain and clarity. Every betrayal carved focus into my soul. Every lonely night built the calluses I now wear with pride. My mission is not optional. My legacy is non-negotiable, and my time is coming. I am built for this, and I will win. Creed of the outlier. Deontay, what verse is that? That is my own. That is something that I created. Creed of the outlier. I'm gonna post that in my post on YouTube post later on after I get off this, so everybody can see it. Right. So let's get back to what we were talking about. The main topic, the reason why you guys are here, right? So a survey was just released, an article was just released, and this not to many of your surprise, right? This not many to your surprise. Belief in the American dream hits record lows, right? So I want to ask you something. Blake Bradley, what's going on? Right? I want to ask you guys something. Is it that the American dream is no longer attainable, or is it that Americans have gotten extremely lazy? Answer me that. Or is it a mix of both? Is the American dream actually unattainable anymore? Or is it just that Americans are lazy, have lost innovation skills, right? Are busy not putting education on the pedestal. Instead, we put social media on the pedestal, right? We put drama on the pedestal, right? Which one is it? I want y'all to answer that. Let me see if I can actually put a poll in here. Start a poll. Let's see. Do you believe in the American dream? Right? Do you believe in it? Done. Start a poll. Why is it on the, okay, start poll. There we go. Oh, snap. So they put it right on the screen? Okay. How can I shrink this? Oh, there we go. Okay. So I can shrink it like that and then put it over here. Let's pull it down some. Okay. Oh, that's cool that YouTube is doing that now. Okay, that's nice. So you can put the poll on the actual screen. Okay, YouTube, that's something new. They didn't tell me about this update. Okay, that's nice. All right. So y'all go ahead and answer that, and we'll dive deep into it. A yellow tester says wealth inequality, gig work, rising cost of living, All of these material conditions killed the dream. Okay, that's a good observation, right? And I believe there's a variety of things that has happened, right? So let's get to reading this article right here. So this is an article by Axios, right? Axios. Almost 70% of U.S. adults said the American dream or the idea that hard work pays off doesn't hold true anymore or never did. Interesting. That's the highest percentage in almost 15 years of surveys, up almost 3%. So it's up almost 3% from 2024, right? Traditional economic indicators such as inflation and unemployment aren't high by historic standards, but there is a persistent disconnect between the economy and consumer sentiment that has shifted Americans' belief in their prospects of upward mobility. So let's dive deep into that. Deontay says all the above, right? All the above. Here's the thing. It depends on what you classify as the American dream. What does the American dream mean to you? Does that mean a family? Does that mean a wife and kids? Does that mean home ownership? Does that mean comfortable living? Right? Can you afford your medicine? Right? Can you live a healthy, comfortable life? What does the American dream mean to you as an individual? Right? Most people, most Americans at least, home ownership is at the top of the list when it comes to achieving the American dream. Home ownership has always been at the top of the list because that meant that you had a piece of or a stake in the country, right? Ownership always meant that you had a stake in the company, whether that meant you were creating your own business, whether that meant you had whether that meant you had equity in the company that you worked for, right? A variety of different things. But as we move, as we move into 2025 and beyond, less and less Americans have a stake in the country, right? Cal McLish says wife, kids, and homeowner, right? So especially when we talk about men, because men especially men under 35, men under 35 are in a very, very weird gray area right now, right? Men under 35 are in a very ugly predicament right now, right? Because what men under 35 were raised on was those things exactly. Oh, if you work hard, you can achieve this. You can get the home. You can get the wife. You can get the kids. But let's be very honest. Let's be very honest. And I talked about this before, right? First and foremost, to be able to afford a family of three, right? Well, wife, what's that? Wife, husband, kid. Well, a family of four, right? Because most people probably want two kids, right? Most people probably want two kids to be able to comfortably afford a family of four. You need to be bringing in around $150,000 plus to be able to comfortably afford that. That's just on the minimum side, right? To be able to comfortably afford a family of four. So that means wife, husband, son, daughter, right? Four people. You need to be making around 150,000 on the low end to be able to comfortably, have a little breathing room, right? You probably still breathing through a straw. Okay. You're probably still breathing through a straw. But $150,000 is that bare minimum, and then that depends. And then that depends on the city that you're actually staying in. We got losers coming into the chat, right? So that depends on the city that you're actually staying in. So in most major cities, you probably have to bump that up. There's some cities where you can probably get away with maybe 120, 125. Right? There's some cities that you can get away with that, right? But not all, right? Most cities you're not going to be able to get away with that, right? And then as a single individual, right? As a single individual in a major city, right? You probably need around what on the low end 75, right? On the low end 75, right? 80. 90, to be honest with you. Because if you have to stay in the major city, guess what? You have to pay the city cost of living, right? You have to pay the city food, right? You have to pay, and then speaking on food, right? The cost of food has increased. I think what did the CPI say? I think the CPI for all food was around 2.3%. 2.3%. So all food meaning takeout, going out to eat, and also groceries. So the overall food increased from 2024 to 2025. This month around, I think it was around 2.3, 2.5%, right? However, groceries by themselves, right? When we talk about from the pandemic, when we talk about the beginning of the pandemic, so we're talking about from around 2020. So from 2020 to right now to 2025, we've seen a 16% increase in food from the pandemic, right? So people probably looking at the CPI report like, oh, that's not too bad, right? That's only a moderate increase from 2024 to 2025. That's only 2.5%. No, ninja, like you got to go all the way back to 2020, right? Remember that big bump in grocery prices? Remember that large bump in grocery prices, right? In the pandemic, right? It increased around 16%. People should realize if you go into the store and buy your groceries, those prices from that large bump, 16% from the pandemic, it never came back down. It never came back down, right? So we had large around the pandemic, and we had transportation issues and all that stuff, right? Bird flu and all of that stuff, right? Those prices never came back down, right? It may have been a slight decline, right? But those prices never came back down. And as I tell you all the time, right? Those prices are here to stay. They're not going anywhere, right? People keep hoping that okay, groceries going to come back down, right? Trump is going to do this. Trump is going to do that. No, bro, price is not going to come back down. This is the new normal, right? As far as houses go, the housing market may see a slight decline, right? So that investors can get in, so that people who, have really been saving their money, just waiting, people have been waiting since the pandemic to throw some money at homes, right? People haven't been in the market since the pandemic. So you got people waiting on well, the market is already crashing, to be honest with you, but they're probably waiting on even more of a crash so they can get in and throw some money at it. So then once those properties go back up, then they're going to hit new highs, right? So we're going to see slight declines, right? But it's not enough for the average everyday Joe Smo to get in. No, this is for people with money. So everything that we're seeing across the board, right? This is only for people with money. That is it. That's why I keep telling y'all, right? You're going to have to find a way to put yourself where the fountain of youth is. You have no choice, right? You have no choice. So in my opinion, if you was to ask me, does the American dream exist? I would say the American dream exists for those who put themselves in prime position, right? For those who put themselves in prime position, right? So yeah, even if you have a good education, right? Even education now, is getting harder and harder to work for some of these companies, even with a degree, right? You have people graduating, just graduated, with engineering degrees, math degrees, all analytical degrees, anything in that STEM sphere, right? You have people who it's extremely competitive to get into that now, right? Because now you have certain companies, right? They're getting rid of degree qualifications, and they're allowing people, to come through, who just may have that experience, right? So now you have people who went and got those degrees, right? Those software engineering degrees and all of those degrees, and now they got to compete with people who didn't go get the degree. They just have a certification or maybe an associate's or something. So everything is hyper competitive now. And then on top of that, they also have to compete with AI and automation as well for the job as well. So you have a shit ton of shit that's going on that's making it harder and harder to be sovereign, right? It's getting harder and harder. And this is why 70% of Americans don't believe that the American dream exists. And truth be told, Americans are unskilled, right? I know this hard for some of you MAGA folks to understand, right? But United States is severely underskilled, right? Many Americans still have skills from the 1970s through the 90s, right? Many Americans are not up to date on skills, and this is why you have countries like China, even India, right? They're producing some of the top engineers, right? If you look at all of the CEOs from some of the biggest tech companies, most of those CEOs, if not all of those CEOs, if I'm not mistaken, are of Indian nationality, right? Or some form of fashion Asian descent or something like that, right? They're producing some of the most prestigious doctors, some of the most prestigious engineers, right? Some of the most top of the line people. And if you actually look into who owns who are owning most of the wealth in the United States of America right now, it is not white. It's not white. Yeah, white is somewhere in between, somewhere like that. But if you really look at the stats, you have Indians and other, ethnic groups in Asia now owning a large portion of wealth and businesses and, some of the highest salaries in the United States now. And you just got to ask yourself, how is that happening, right? How is that even happening in the United States? Why isn't the United States or the American citizen the ones who are dominating in those spheres? Well, like I just said, United States is underskilled, right? What the fuck? United States is severely underskilled, right? We really don't put education at the forefront. We put social media at the forefront. We put just meaningless stuff at the forefront, right? Y'all get these likes up, man. Y'all get these likes up. Right? So what does that leave us? Right? So now you have especially when it comes to the American male, right? When it comes to the American male, you know, Ninja, the American male has been priced out of everything on purpose, right? I always say on purpose, right? The American male is being priced out on purpose. There's a lot of people pulling strings behind closed doors. It's clear as day, right? They want you ninjas in forever servitude. They want y'all to be forever slaves, ninja, slaves to the corporatocracy, right? They don't want you to have a life at all. Men have been priced out of dating, as we can see. Men have all the way been priced out of dating, right? Men have all the way been priced out of dating. It's really a shame, right? And they're even saying that we're in a MSK says Indians own most of the gas stations and motels. Yep. Kenneth Spencer says, "Speak at truth, brother. For many, it's a hard thing to swallow. It's hard to swallow, but I've done a ton of research. I look at the data. I mean, it's right there in your face. It's right there in your face, and we want to keep on trying to put a band-aid on it. Everybody see what Americans are doing, right? And this goes for all. Right? I'm talking about all Americans, right? If you want to talk about African Americans, Black Americans, if you want to talk about white Americans, right? The thing is, everybody wants to point the finger at somebody, right? Everybody wants to point the finger at somebody, right? You got the Indians and the Chinese; they coming over here, and there's been a whole bunch of Indian hate, right? There's been Indian hate for the past 10 to 15 years, but as of late, it has exploded over these last 3-4 years, for a variety of different reasons. But the Indians, they just shut up. They just shut up. The Indians, they come over here, shh. The Chinese, they come over here, shh. The Koreans, they come over here, shh. Yeah, they let you throw all the hate, throw all the stones at them, but guess what? They still get in there and become some of the best surgeons. They still get in there and become some of the best engineers, right? You don't see Indians pointing the fingers. You don't see Indians just, yeah, it's them. And the Africans too, like the Nigerians, when they come over here, become some of the best doctors, the best engineers. They don't they don't link up with the dang on the foundational, whatever you want to call them, the foundational Black Americans. They don't link up with them ninjas. They like, yeah, y'all ninjas stay over there. We gonna come over here and get our money and dominate over here, right? Right. Now you have immigrant groups. They come over here. They're outpacing all Americans. They're outpacing all Americans, white Americans, black Americans, Mexican Americans, whoever you name. If you got an Americanized mindset, they outpacing you, right? And it's I know people don't want to hear it, but that's what's going on, right? I used to believe, JC was going on, said, I used to believe in the American dream till I became a citizen here and finally saw how it is here. Yeah, I'm just passing through, but as someone from outside the U.S., it seems like the American dream is only something available for people who weren't allowed to dream beforehand. That's a good, you just made me think right there. He said, I'm just passing through, but as someone from outside the U.S., it seems like the American dream is only something available for people who weren't allowed to dream beforehand. Ooh, that's pretty deep right there. That's pretty deep. If one got to have a con in a land of milk and honey, then you aren't living in the paradise. You're institutionalized in the shiny prison. That's basically what it is for most. Unfiltered Grind said, honestly, I'm tired of the complaints. Just nut up and shut up. Notorious TBG says, Trump 2028. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Ninja, people who still get in here, and this is a thing too. People get in here want to play politics, right? Some of the poorest peasants want to play politics. You know how the wealthy play politics. You know how the rich play politics, right? They don't play politics, honestly. They're all in on whoever can get them wealthier, right? They go all in for whoever can get them wealthy, bro. All you have to do is research, look at the corporations, right? Donations are public. They're public information, right? You can go in and look at Coca-Cola, Disney World. I'm just naming companies, but you can go in and look at the biggest companies. You can look in, it's public data. You can go in and look at the candidates that they've donated to. All of these companies over the past 50 to 100 years have donated to both Republicans and Democrats. It does not matter. They're not in it. They don't care. They don't care about what your political identity is. They align themselves with whoever is going to get them the money, whoever is going to get them the tax breaks, right? Who's ever going to be lenient on regulation. That's who they align themselves with, right? People still think that yeah, I heard that this company, they like the Republicans. I heard that this company like the Democrats. Bro, they don't care nothing about what you got going on, peasants. They, they don't care nothing about what you got going on, right? I think the majority of people think getting rich is the American dream. It's about being spiritually connected, emotionally grounded, being a good person to others, and working on my passions. Well, that sounds good on paper, Ninja. T. Thompson, that sounds good on paper. Working on your passions, yeah, sure. Yeah, while you starving, okay. Right? While your car getting repossessed, Ninja, okay. Right? Being spiritually connected, yeah, Ninja, that only goes so far. That only goes so far as your pockets do, Ninja. Like, I get what people be saying. I get what people be saying, but at the same time, like a lot of that stuff is not realistic, right? Let me starve you. Let me starve you and see how. Let me see how far that spiritual connectivity goes, Ninja, before you start knocking somebody upside the head. Going in their pocket so you can eat, right? At the end of the day, your human nature is gonna override whatever you talking about, right? Your human nature, your survival instincts is gonna override everything that you're talking about, right? You can't be emotionally grounded when you're being priced out of everything. You can't be emotionally grounded when like you're doing what you're supposed to do. You got people out here working hard, right? You got people out here working hard. You got people out here grinding, doing the right thing. They're not committing crimes, right? They're working two jobs. They're doing the right thing, but they still can't get ahead and they're still getting priced out. Eventually, you're going to look at all of this like somebody's fucking me over. You're going to look at all of this and like, nah, this ain't right. Somebody's fucking me over, right? And I'm going to get to the bottom of it, right? T. Thompson, I don't have those issues, though I'm not rich. I make average money. I budget correctly, and if I go without, I just do. Well, that's your prerogative, Ninja. That's your prerogative, Ninja, right? Some of you ninjas, y'all want to be average Joe Smos until shit hits the fan, right? That's the problem, right? Everybody want to sit around and wait on something to happen. Everybody want to sit around and receive their minuscule wage until that minuscule wage no longer suffices, right? So Ninja, if you cool with that, I'm cool with that. Whatever, Ninja, but I'm not cool with it. I'm here telling guys that hey, you need to up it up a level, right? I don't care what you do, right? As long as you don't land up in prison, Ninja, I don't care what you do, right? You need to get ahead. You need to find some way to get ahead, right? Even if you're living in your car. You know what? How about I do? You know what? I think that'll be real eye opening if I did like an episodic program on Patreon on living out of my car for what, 30 days or something, right? What if I did something like that just to show y'all, look, I was living out my car. I did this, I did that, right? I don't care if you got to live out your car. I don't care if you got to live out of hotel rooms, Ninja. You must get up, right? You must get up. If you make anywhere between, I would say 25 and 30 an hour, bro. And if you stay in your car and not worry about rent, you probably just got a car note, got to pay car insurance and gas, right? Bro, I think that is and if you, of course, if you're a single individual, you don't have no responsibilities, Ninja, you just by yourself and you was like, you know what, let me stay in my car, right? Rent is too much. Even if I get a roommate, these folks still want $1,000. Like, what if I stay in my car? My car note is $200 and my car insurance is what? Another $200, right? So $400, I'm essentially paying $400 in rent. Let me make a little bed here in the back. And you know what? I'm gonna wake up every morning. Oh, I'm gonna purchase a gym membership at Planet Fitness is what, like $15, $20. They have showers, they have water, Ninja. All you need is some soap and some clothes, right? So you got $425, $425 that you paying for living expenses, Ninja. You don't pay no water bill, no nothing. You just living out your car and you stacking your money. By the end of the year, you should put away at least 75%. Everything else that you spent should have been nothing but food, your car note, car insurance, right? Clothes and car maintenance, and that's it. You should have been able to save 75. I'm putting y'all up on game, but people don't want to take it to that edge, right? There's a way to do it. Right? There's a way to do it. Rick says, put God first and trust in Him. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've heard people say that for ninjas been living 50, 60 some years, still broke, still poor, right? Ninja, come on, put God first, Ninja, bro. I'd be tired of hearing you ninjas say that. That, like, put God first, and then what? And then what? See, the church don't preach that. And then what? Put God first, and then what? What are the actionable steps, Ninja? What are the actionable steps after you put God first? Ninjas always, yeah, you put God first and then everything will magically disappear, Ninja. Like the inflation will go down, the cost of living will go down, your car note and car insurance will go down, you'll magically end up in a better job, you'll magically end up in a mansion, Ninja. Just put God first and then just put God first, Ninja. Please, man. Please. You Christians, man. You Christians always talking about putting God first. No actionable steps. No actionable steps at all. They just put God first and then that's it, right? Christians are some of the poorest people in this dang on country. Poor in mindset, poor financially, poor spiritually as well. Bro, care nothing about Christians, right? And that's coming from a quote unquote Christian ninja. I care nothing about you Christians, man. Always talking that jibber jabber, no actionable steps, no nothing. The biggest hypocrites in America, ninja, please. Right? What are the steps after that? There are steps. God is a God of God is a God of abundance, right? All, right? All of us are meant to prosper. Why are so many Christians poor? Why are so many Christians poor in mindset? Why are so many Christians poor spiritually? Why are so many Christians nothing but just hypocrites, right? Why are so many Christians don't live in actual truth and reality, Ninja? I can go on a whole tangent on that. I can go on a whole tangent on that. I appreciate it. T. Thompson, here we go. We got a 401k, Ninja. I invest in my 401k. Every paycheck is what I focused on mostly. Bro, if you wanna go down that rabbit hole of retirement, I'm gonna tell you right now, most people are not gonna be able to retire, regardless of a 401k. Bro, that old way that you're talking about is not gonna work. I broke those stats down so many times on videos, bro. First and foremost, you have to make a certain amount of money. You have to make a certain amount of money to be able to see a substantial amount of return on your 401k in the first place, right? If you're making Ninja, if you're making $50,000 a year in this current economy, 401k is not even what you should be thinking about. Putting money in a 401k for what? For what? Even if your company matches, even if your company matches with a 401k, why are you even thinking about if you make under $100,000, bro? 401k shouldn't even be in your prerogative. I'm sorry. You can call it my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, but if you make under 100K, I see no absolute reason why you should be invested in a 401k. I believe that money should be utilized to creating something, creating a machine, creating another business, creating another source of income, so you can then bring in more income to increase your standard of life, therefore increasing your savings and everything else in between, right? Most Americans only make around 55, the average male only makes around $55,000 a year. He cannot afford to be putting money into a 401k. It's not conducive to. Come on, man. Bro, where y'all, come on. Come on now. What are you saying that is a good investment? The stats don't show that. Gen X is coming out of retirement. I mean, baby boomers had to come out of retirement ever since the pandemic. Ever since the pandemic, baby boomers have been coming out of retirement, right? Baby boomers have been losing their homes, right? Because property values have been going up. Many baby boomers can't keep up with the rise in property taxes, right? The average retirement savings is around $400,000. How much do you need to survive and to make it in today's time at retirement? You need around 3.5 to $5 million, depending on the type of life that you live. I'm gonna repeat that. You need around 2.5 to $5 million to successfully retire. Most people will never touch $1 million in their retirement. This is based on Pew Research. This is based on bank data and statistics. So please tell me, what are you talking about? Most people won't even see $100,000 in their 401k. Most people will work the remainder of their living, breathing life. Most people won't retire, right? You're talking about 65 years, and then they're talking about increasing their retirement age. Bro, you fall and you break a hip or something, bro, 200,000 that is gone, right? If you talk about surgeries, if you talk about getting a hip replacement, if you talk about all the therapy, the physical therapy that you have to go through, bro, 200,000 of that is gone, right? Hopefully you got some good insurance, but you're still gonna pay. Come on now, bro. I done broke down the math. You're not gonna be able to tell me. You're not gonna be able to tell me nothing, right? MSK says just moved to Thailand. Exactly. So now more More retirees are looking into overseas living. That's the only way you're going to be able to survive on really under a million. Shit, even if I had millions, I would still take my millions to somewhere else. I'll take my millions to Thailand. I'll take my millions to the Philippines. I'll take my millions to the DR. As a matter of fact, I was just talking. I was just talking to a guy. He's a trader, right? He's a trader, but he still works, full time at the company. And he was just showing me what he hit for. Ninja hit for like $200,000, right? Just trading, and he was trading for years. Like he's trying to double that, and he's going to leave the company, right? Once he double his money or quadruple his money, whatever he's doing, right? His plan is to move to Colombia and retire there once he get the money that he wants, bro. Retiring in the United States is a death wish. Retiring in the United States is a death wish, right? It makes no financial sense, right? When you talk about the cost of living, cost of food, cost of goods, cost of services, it makes no sense, right? When you can go to a place like Thailand and you'll be living like a demigod, ninja. You'll be living like a demigod. Or you go to Colombia, go to Brazil, right? Whatever, one of those places. Right? You'll be living like a demigod. There's no way in hell that you'll catch me retiring in the United States of America. I'm sorry. There's no way. It makes no fiscal sense at all. The numbers don't add up. Ninja, you'll go broke the minute you retire, ninja. You'll go broke the minute you retire. Right? I'm telling y'all gotta look at the data. I don't know where dude, and shouts out to you, T Thompson. It ain't no shade at you or nothing like that. I'm just like, when dudes start talking about 401ks and retirement, I'm like, bro, have you broken down the numbers? Have you actually seen the numbers? Have you done your due diligence? Right? I know exactly how much it takes for an individual to retire, right? And you gotta account for everything. Right? You gotta account for possible health problems. You gotta account for possible mishaps. You got to account for changes in the market. You got to account for inflation. You have to account for cost of living rise. You have to account for all of this stuff. Deontay says, do I trade? I used to trade a long time ago, but I'm not a current trader, no. Right? I'm not really too, I know a lot on it, but where I'm at right now, that's a little bit too risky for me to be putting money in. Right? A little bit too risky for me to be putting money in. Deconstruction Narcissism said, that's what I tell people. Why the fuck would you ever retire in the U.S.? I'm an American that speaks fluent Spanish, so I'm stacking my money to move to Colombia or some other Latin country. Shouts out to you. Yeah, that's what I tell people too. I'm like, bro, get your money. See, United States is for making money. Y'all got to realize that. The United States is for business. Right? The United States is for business and making money. That's it. Social life is dead in the United States. Social life is dead, as y'all can see. Relationships, dating is dead, as you can see, ninja. Right? Right? You might as well take your talents to South Beach, ninja. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. That's just a saying, LeBron saying, quote, right? I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Right? Bear says, if it ain't snowing, I ain't going. Right? But yeah, you want to take your talents to Colombia. Right? And there's many Americans over there. When I was in the DR, there's many Americans over there. Right? Retired Americans, they bought property, right? They bought property, they're renting out Airbnbs, right? They're over there building, right? They've connected with, people, locals, and now they're building over there, and it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Like I told them, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. I'm trying to retire in the DR, ninja. I'm trying to retire in the DR. Right? And they over there living their best life. The women are beautiful, the beaches are beautiful, right? The food is good. Hello, facts. You're here to make money, not to live here. Yeah. People trying to achieve the American dream. They trying to live here and get the house. And now by all means, if you can do it, do it. Right? Right? If you can do it, do it. Still land of the free, home of opportunity, right? Whatever opportunity is left, and then but if you can do it, do it. Like I'm not saying don't do it, but if you really break down the numbers, like, well, why live expensively when you can go to another democracy, right? Because the United States is not the only democracy, right? Or not even the only republic in the world. It's not, right? People don't do any kind of research on nothing. They think the United States is just the only free nation in the world. No, it's not, right? No, it's not. Do some research, right? So if you go to another republic, if you go to another democracy, right, you can live like a demigod, ninja, literally, right? Colombia, you can go and live like a demigod, right? Have your pick of the litter with all types of beautiful women, like you got the mestizas, you got the dang on morenos, you got them curvy, you got them petite, ninja. You can have a ball. You can have a ball. They say where you're going to go is bad everywhere. No, it's fucking. That's what I'm talking about. Deconstruction. That's what I'm talking about, right? Americans are so pessimistic, and this is the reason why a lot of Americans are in the state that they're in too, right? So many Americans are just pessimistic, right? They know nothing about world affairs. They only know what's going on in the United States, and they only know about who's the enemies of the United States. Well, if they're the enemies of the United States, then they're enemies, right? They don't care nothing about what's going on in the world affairs, what's going on with global trade, what's going on with BRICS, ninja. They don't care about how the world economies are shifting as we speak. The United States is no longer a dominating player like it used to be. Ninjas don't care about nothing else what's going on. No, the rest of the world is not as bent up out of shape as you think. Right? Don't get me wrong. There's some horrible places to go in the world. Don't get me wrong, right? But you have places like I mean, you have some great places to go, right? You have an abundance of places to go. I was even looking at what's the name of that? What's the name of that place? It's right there. It starts with an O. I'm gonna look it up on a map. It's right there by Dubai. I forgot the name of it. Dang, what's the name of it? It's right there by Dubai and it starts with an O. It's an Islamic country, but it's considered one of the safest countries in the world. Somebody may put it in here. Let me go over to the map. Let me see. I'll probably find it before y'all tell me. Let's see. Where is it? It's right by Dubai. Oman. 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 So it's a country. It's a country right next to. It's a country right next to. It borders Dubai, right? It borders the United Arab Emirates, right? And borders Saudi Arabia and borders Yemen. No, not Qatar. Oman. Oman. Yep. But Qatar is pretty safe too. Qatar is pretty safe too. Saudi Arabia is extremely safe as well. Dubai is extremely safe as well, right? But they're definitely Islamic countries, right? So you gotta abide by. There's severe consequences for alcohol, severe consequences for women, severe consequences for getting out of line, getting out of order, right? So it's heavily dictated by the religion, right? Safe because they have very harsh punishments for crime. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And that's, I would venture to say that I would like that versus what we have here in the United States, because those same punishments will be cruel and unusual punishments in the United States. That'll be violating the Constitution. But yeah, some of that stuff is needed here. We need to start chopping off fingers for stealing, right? You want to stick your digging stick and you want to push yourself against a woman. Yep, we need to chop that thing off too, right? You want to assault somebody? Yep, right. We're gonna assault you, right? You want to do things a limb for a limb, ninja. A limb for a limb. Limb for a limb. You wanna murder? Okay, cool, right? Life for a life. Right, I bet people stop doing shit then. I bet people stop doing shit then. But you got to realize, also we gotta fuel the prison industrial complex, right? They need people. They need people in the prison industrial complex, right? They need people in there to work for the corporatocracy, right? They need people over there picking crops. They need people in there sewing stuff together and boxing stuff up for some of these corporations. That goes on too, right? Prison labor. They'll see the reason why they'll never do it because then there'll never be anybody in prison. They have to have. Come on, man. The rabbit hole goes deep, man. They need prisoners, so they'll never go with the cruel and unusual punishment. They'll never want crime to be obsolete, right? They'll never want crime to be obsolete because then the prison industrial complex will cease to be what it is. They make billions of dollars from the prison industrial complex, right? So they need ninjas in there to be in there, doing what they do, so they can make money. Come on now, United States has the largest population of prisoners in the world. The so-called free nation has the number one largest prison population in the world. So that goes to show you. And then crime is still not. We still don't have a handle on crime. So what does that mean? Clearly, it's a American thing. Clearly, it's a mentality thing, right? So, what steps could be taken to make crime obsolete? I just told you. We'll have to adopt. We'll have to adopt things like Omen in Saudi Arabia. Somebody mentioned Japan, right? Some extreme stuff. But like I said, it'll never happen because it'll violate constitution. It'll violate constitutional rights. It'll never be a thing, right? It'll never be a thing because those would be cruel and unusual punishments. Yep. So very harsh punishments. Yeah. Tanaz said, right. That's why I don't totally believe that it's completely the land of the free for all. Yep. Less than 1.5 million prisoners in the U.S. Simple Google search. What does that mean? Did you thought you did something there? What does that mean? Less than 1.5 million prisoners in the U.S. today. What does that mean? United States still has one of the largest prison populations in the world. Will really harsh punishment not include long prison terms or prison labor? I mean, you can consider that, but I mean, it depends on what you consider. I mean, some people don't consider law. You got people, bro. You have people in prisons living good, right? They're behind bars. They're behind closed walls, but they can still get access to drugs. They can still get access to sex. Depending on who they are in the prison. Some of these guys are, still head honchos, right? They got cell phones in there. They calling shots. They got plenty of money on their commissary, right? They're paying off guards. It's a whole thing. It's not as crazy as it seems, or as strict as it seems, right? Men more than ever needs to build, or they will be priced out. I agree. I agree. But will men build? But will men build, or will they get sucked up into this depressive mind state? Will men actually build? The Allen Show. What's going on, Allen? Make sure y'all. Shouts out to Allen. Shouts out to the Allen Show. Make sure y'all go check Allen out over there. All right, it's been a long time, Allen. I got to get over there and see what you're doing. I got to get over there. I've been busy trying to make these videos, working like a Hebrew slave ninja, right? So I got to get over there and see what you're doing. But shouts out to Allen. Shouts out to the Allen Show. Make sure y'all go check him out over there on his channel over there. He's doing some things over there. He's growing as well over there. The Allen Show. Make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. Go over there and subscribe to him as of now. Matter of fact, right? Shouts out to Allen, man. Moy, where you been at, Moy? Way too many insecure men out here. Kale said, there is no American dream. I am in NYC and dudes never want to build. It's crazy. It's crazy how just the mind state of men have changed so much, right? And to be honest with you, right? If you're very intellectual, right? If you can really if you're the type of man that can see between the lines, you can see the strings being pulled, you know that it's been purposely done, right? Shouts out to Moy with the super chat. I appreciate it. Brokies never want to build. Most men are insecure. Yep, I agree. But if you can see through if you can see through the lines, you'll understand that a lot of this stuff is being beat out of men, right? The testosterone levels. I mean, they're being beat out of men. As I've said many times, the corporatocracy, right? The corporations working for the corporations, right? It is not meant for masculine men to go in there and dominate. The corporations are not meant for masculine men, unless we're talking about CEOs and C suites, right? Which is a totally different story, right? The corporations and honestly, the 9 to 5 system in America is not meant for masculine men, right? That system is meant to beat the masculinity out of you, make you passive aggressive, right? Regress you, right? In mentality, right? In the way that you operate as a man, right? And the corporatocracy is more feminized, right? The 9 to 5 system, the corporatocracy, corporations, they're run off feminine energy. It's not run off masculinity, believe it or not, right? What's that? Coben, you can go ahead and get up out of there, right? So it's a whole debacle. I thought I blocked you, Ninja. Go follow Unfiltered Grind. He is a real tap gang. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to Unfiltered Grind. Yeah, I shouted him out. I shouted him out earlier. There's almost nothing you could do to make it in America now. Median salary is like 39K. I agree to Allen Show. I called you the Allen Show, Allen. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it depends. It depends on what you know what side of the spectrum are you on. Now, I would say that, I mean, if you're on the lower side of the spectrum, I mean, you probably have no chance in hell, right? If you're not already having some kind of leeway, if you're not already having what the kids say nowadays, if you're not already having some kind of motion, if you're not already having some kind of motion, if you're not already having some kind of leeway in life right now, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you have no idea how bad American women are until you travel. I knew it wasn't me. Yeah, yeah. I've done the same, and I have some more traveling to do. Right. Stay tuned for that. More trips coming soon. More trips coming soon. Right. But yeah, I've seen firsthand that it is completely different. And I was just talking to a dude at work. Same dude he's a trader as well. He trades and work full time, but he spent the whole month over there in Cartagena, and he was just like, man, he's like the women are beautiful and humble, right? Yes, you have your bad apples and stuff like that everywhere, but he was just saying the Colombian women, they're beautiful and humble. They're not, they don't have the big head. They know that they're beautiful, right? They know that men are coming over there and they want to marry them and they want to, you know, partake in some activities with them, and they know that stuff, but they're still humble, right? The American woman, right, has just become too big headed, right? Not even a beautiful woman in America, right? You have the average looking ugly Slopaloposaurus who thinks she's Princess Diana. And I'm like, what in the world? Where does this mindset come from? Right? Social media has really propped these women up on a pedestal, make them feel like they're something that they're not. Alan says Thailand is a dream world. Only issue is making income is always hot as fuck. I always knew a country like this existed. Right? Shouts out to you, man. Shouts out to you. Thailand is a dream world. I got to get over there, man. I'm stuck in my corporatocracy, ninja. I'm stuck in my little corporate job right now, because shouts out to Moy again. Moy dropping the bag, okay. But the thing about it is, if for me to go to Thailand, For me to go to Thailand, I want to spend a month in Thailand, right? Or bare minimum 2 weeks. Because the amount of time that it takes to travel over there, man, you'll be traveling depending on your flights. Depending on your flights, you'll be traveling for 24 to 48 hours, especially if you have a layover or something, right? Especially if you have a layover, like you'll be traveling for 24 to 48, right? You can't go to Thailand and just spend 3 days over there. Now you got to spend 2 weeks because you got to catch up on sleep, and then your sleep all thrown off, right? And then why would you travel that far across the world just to spend a few days? Now you got to spend 2 weeks to a month over there. That's what I want to do. So I want to spend a month over there in Thailand, right? Once I get over there. But I gotta scrape through all of South America first, Ninja. I gotta scrape through all of South America and the Caribbean first before I detour over there to Southeast Asia. Totally awesome said I was in Thailand for 6 months. It was good, but Cambodia is good as well. I've heard about Cambodia. I've heard about Cambodia, right? And shouts out to Moy again. Toughen up, man. If women are tough in 2025, guess what? As men, we have to be more tough. Smash the like button and follow tap and the tap gang. Yep, make sure I hit that like button. Make sure you tap. Make sure you tap into the Patreon as well. Episode 4 is coming soon. Episode 5, episode 6 is coming soon. Over there with the Book of Forbidden Knowledge, we're dropping game and game and game over there. I'm trying to build a community of like-minded individuals over there with the Patreon. So if you have some knowledge as well, come over to the Patreon, drop knowledge over there, drop post over there, you know, like minds. Let's get the like minds together. So come over there to the Book of Forbidden Knowledge, right? Sign up for the Book of Forbidden Knowledge. You get an episodic program where I dive deep into wisdom, dive deep into mindsets that you need to make it in 2025 and beyond. Also, right, you sign up for the Book of Forbidden Knowledge. You also get access to Billionaires Row, which we're going to be talking about economic stuff, money, crypto, AI, automation, travel, all that you can think of dealing with money and things of that nature, right? And then you also get access to all my old videos. So I have 70 plus videos over there now in the Afterpill archive. So you sign up for the Book of Forbidden Knowledge, you get access upon access upon access. You get knowledge videos, you get game videos, you get money mindset type videos. So make sure y'all come over there and hit that link pinned to the top of the chat, right? Come over there to the Patreon. Alan Show said make 120K plus 3 years, 440K 1 year. It made no net difference in my life. That's how expensive USA is. Yeah, literally need millions. You literally need millions. That's what I keep saying, man. You literally need millions, right? Now, of course, that's dependent on your family setup. If you're solo dolo, or if you have some kids and stuff like that, you could, yeah. Alan's over there in Thailand. I know Alan's sometimes in Vegas sometimes too. Kel said, what countries are good in general? I can break that down on a whole nother live stream. But I kind of want to travel to some more countries before I just start speaking on stuff, because other countries then, I'll just start speaking from third, what you call that? Third person, right? So I will only be able to speak from what other people are saying, but I want to visit countries before I say it. But we can do a live stream on what countries are actually good, right? And if y'all have questions for Alan, make sure y'all go over there. He's in Thailand. If y'all have questions for Alan, go over there to his channel. Make sure you go over there and subscribe. And I'm sure he can give you everything you need to know about Thailand, budget, how he makes it work over there. So make sure y'all go over there and subscribe. Go over there and subscribe to the Alan Show. He's over there in Thailand living his best life. He be in Vegas sometimes too, over there gambling, right? Good job. Drink a soda juice on me. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Shouts out to you for that super chat. But make sure y'all go over there and tap into Alan if you want to know about Thailand and all that stuff, right? Because it'll be a good minute before I get over there to Thailand, right? I got a list of other countries that I need to hit before I get over there to Southeast Asia, right? But I'm definitely looking forward to getting over there though. Alan, you're gonna be the first person I hit up when I land over there, Ninja. I need you to show me around, Ninja. Need you to tell me where not to go and where to go, Ninja. Love from India. I can't hear, but your smile can tell me you accepted, brother. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to India, man. Shouts out to all the Indians over here dominating, man. I have nothing but love and respect. For Indians, man, they put education, knowledge, and family at the forefront of everything, and they don't do nothing but dominate. You can't do nothing but respect the hustlers and respect the grind and respect, you know, just all of it. After everyone's an NBC, my favorite YouTube video ever. Shouts out to you, man. A dude just gotta know to hang with them and have fun. People overanalyze bitches too much. They do, and I blame the red pill for that. David Diller said you will own nothing and like it. Yeah, that's how most people end. People will make it. Like I say all the time, right? Americans are lazy, right? Now that laziness only go now when you mix laziness with cost of living increasing and everything around you just increasing and right people are barely living. When you mix laziness on top of that, then you get a shit show. Shouts out to you, right? But when you get a mix of laziness and everything else, you get a shit show. Say majority of women have same talking points about men ain't shit, but they are talking to the wrong dudes like us. So I don't care about the birth rates problem here. They talking to the wrong dudes. No, they talking to the same dudes. I think you got it wrong. They talking to the same dudes, right? They talk to the same ones over and over again. It's the same. It's the same dudes, the same guys, right? It's the same top. It's the same top 20%, right? They're either top 20% financially, top 20% physically, genetically, right? Top 20% in dig and stick, right? Pause, no diddy, right? They talk to the same guys. They smashing the same guys, right? It's the same percentage of guys, right? Most of these guys are not getting sex. I was talking to one dude at work. There's another dude at work, right? He just goes to work and he goes home, right? And I was like, bro, you need to get out. You need to get out sometimes. Like, he don't see no point. I was like, dang, do you like chicks? Do you like women? He was like, yeah, I like women, but I just know I don't see any point in interacting with them. And I'm like, bro, what? I did like this. I'm like, bro, we have reached a new level where you have young men, right? You're supposed to be young men. We're talking about you're supposed to be testosterone filled. You have young men saying that they don't feel like they need to interact with women. I'm like, bro, you sure you don't? Now, I don't have no problem with you if you go the other way. Now, I don't, whatever love floats your boat, ninja. But do you like chicks, ninja? Do you like chicks? You're like, yeah, I like girls, but I just don't see no reason to interact with them. I'm like, bro, we've reached a new level, man. Right? We reached a new level where young men are not even they feel no reason to interact with women. Like, dang, ninja, do you got does your piggly wiggly get hard, ninja? Like, at least. And I was reading another survey where more and more young men are dealing with ED issues, right? More and more young men are dealing with ED issues, right? Erectile dysfunction issues. And that has a lot to do with gooning. That has a lot to do with corn hub, right? That has a lot to do with Jack and a Jackrabbit, right? So you have a lot of young men who are dealing with erectile dysfunction issues, right? And that's also linked to the drop in testosterone amongst young men, and that drop in testosterone is linked to corn, linked to overstimulation, linked to the foods, junk food, diets, not working out. It's crazy, right? Gooning ruined men, absolutely. Depends on what you want. If you're trying to crack, then sure, what you're saying is valid. These Gen Z dudes are so fragile. Get them a blankie. Yeah, only the best of the best are gonna rise. Pepper says they probably scared to be canceled, put on blast. That too, right? Especially when you're not the best looking guy. I guess I get it, right? You're probably insecure, but let me tell you something, man. Most guys are probably average. Now you do got some ugly ass ninjas out here. I'm sorry. You do got some ugly ass ninjas out here. Most dudes are average. You can go from average looks if you first of all take care of your face. Take care of your skin. Wash your face every morning and before you go to bed. Wash your face, right? Take care of your grooming. Have a nice shave. If you got a beard, make sure it's nicely trimmed. If you have a mustache, make sure it's nicely trimmed, nicely put together, right? Make sure you have a haircut, whatever, a lineup or something, hair, comb, to whatever the case is, right? Put on some muscle. I keep telling dudes, right? It don't take much for a man to go from average, below average to dang, he's nice. It doesn't take that much. All dudes need to do is take care of themselves, right? The dude that was telling me this, right? He got man boobs and not the muscle man boobs, but the squishy man boobs. Pause, no diddy, right? And he got a gut. I'm like, bruh, like, yeah, I'd be scared to go outside too if I look like that, right? If dudes just take care of themselves, right? Lose some weight, put on some muscle, make sure you're nicely groomed. Just put a little pocket change, in your pocket. Work a nice job to where you get what I'm saying. You can take care of yourself, right? But dudes, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. T Holo, what's going on? Use Dr. Squash and some body wash. Yep, Dr. Squash should go a long way. Dr. Squash get that dirt off you, right? But dudes are now too stuck in their mind. And like I said before, I blame the red pill for this, man. I blame the red pill for it. I know the red pill has opened up people's eyes, for a minute. But I blame the red pill for this because it's made a lot of men overthink, overanalyze a lot of things, right? Overdo, overcorrect, right? It's made a lot of men, nihilistic, pessimistic, right? I would say the red pill has probably done more damage than good, if you ask me, right? Now, for the men who it was going to change in the first place, those men have already made those changes, right? For the men who it was going to change, those men have already made those changes and made improvements and are continuing to make those improvements. But for the large majority of men, they didn't do nothing but sit back and watch and laugh and start. Yeah, I'm the bro. Remember when Andrew Tate first dropped? Ninjas was walking around like, yeah, I'm an alpha. Yeah, you don't talk to me. I'm an alpha male. Ninjas walking around all fat and sloppy, like, bro, calm down before you get knocked out. Dudes walking around talking about they alphas, and I'm like, bro, y'all have no clue, right? The only way for society, women to value men is for men to simply not play the game. A game designed to take resources from men and send to the state. Women and religion are vehicles for this. Women are the state, right? Women and religion, I agree, right? Women and the state. Women are the state. But you do see the thing is, I said this before. You're not going to have a choice. You're not going to have a choice not to play the game. Many men think that they're exiling themselves out of the game, but are they not looking at Cornhub too? While they're not working, while they're not working, thinking that they're doing something, are they not watching Cornhub too? Are they not on Instagram scrolling, doom scrolling, and watching these half naked models on Instagram? Are they not doing that either? Right? Are they not doing that? No, no. Because when you're not working to the best of your ability, guess what? You have too much time on your hand, right? Idle hands is the devil's hand or something like that. Idle hands is the devil's playground or something like that. Whatever that saying is, right? So if they're not working to the fullest extent that they can, they're doing other things because now you're distracted. You have a little bit more time on your hand. So you're gooning, you're watching naked women, half naked women on Instagram, you're on Cornhub, right? So men are talking about, yeah, I'm not going to participate in society, but then they're still participating in the very system that is destroying them. So if you ask me, the men who are not building, the men who are refusing to build, they're still taking part of the system that is destroying. So like that's why I say a lot of people, a lot of men, especially, just nothing but hypocrites. right? Nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. And it's too many men, too many unserious men out here. It's just, bro, it's disgusting, bro. It's disgusting. Like men, there's a time and a place to enjoy yourself. There's a time and a place to have fun and party. I'm just noticing like there's way too many men, right, who are just unserious about life. Like just like when dudes come in here, they want to play and hee hee ha ha. Even the young boys, the teenagers, like, bro, I get, teenagers do what they do and kids do what they do, but I just feel like we should be in a society where, right, when you hit a certain age, all that playful shit should go out the door. Like that playful shit, I just can't get down with that playful shit. Like, do y'all not see what's going on around you? Right? We're talking about 70% of people don't consider the American dream as realistic. And you got guys who want to rage bait. They get literally grown men, right? Young men get online and they want to rage bait. They want to type silly shit, think it's funny. It's like, where did we go wrong, right? Creating a unserious society. America is not serious, but y'all think that we're just gonna take back power and dominate again. The only thing that United States have going on is the military. That is it. America is such an unserious nation, right? I don't take the politics serious. I don't take the men serious of this country. I don't take the women serious of this country. Bro, everybody's a fucking joke, right? That's why I don't have friends. Everybody's a joke, Ninja. I'm trying to build a multi-million dollar platform, Ninja. I'm trying to build just a kingdom full of men who are just ready to dominate. I don't have time for that joking shit. Like, I really don't. Like, yeah, we get on here and hee hee ha ha and all that stuff. Like, yeah, we laugh and joke, but like I said, it's a time and a place for it. But dudes are just so unserious about life. It's just, I can't do it. Everybody want to play around. Ninja be dead broke, wanted to joke around. I'm like, bro, can't do you have any ideas for this? Like you want to take part in this? You want to give some commentary, Ninja? You want to do what you got going on? You got a business? Oh, maybe I can give you some pointers on this. Oh, I was playing around with this platform, the other day. Can you do this, bro? Dudes don't have nothing to say to me. Like, dudes don't have nothing to talk about. Unfoot to Grind said it's annoying. It's like talking to robots. NPCs, bro. NPCs. Taking away the corn hub will force us to talk to women or else spontaneously combust. Bro, taking away corn hub is not going to make men just talk to women. Because one, you got to forget, women are their own individuals. So they're going to talk to whoever they want. They're going to talk to who they're going to talk to in the first place. Right? They're just not just going to, as soon as they get rid of corn hub, they got rid of corn hub in Texas, Ninja. You can't even access corn hub in Texas. You can access XNXX though, Ninja. But you can't even access corn hub in Texas. That ain't gonna make ninjas. They just gonna get on Instagram. Ninja gonna be scrolling through Instagram. Oh yeah, I like that, Ninja. I like that. Right? Ninja's gonna be on Instagram doing the same thing. Ninja's gonna always find a way. The one thing about a lazy mofo, one thing about a gooning ass ninja, he's gonna find a way to goon. A ninja gonna find a way to goon. He gonna find a way. Right? It's too much, bro. It's too much out here. It's too much out here. Right? So even if you go to even if you go to YouTube, they be on X all day, right? Even if you go to YouTube, bro, they have videos on here with, bro, girls are getting by with the those stretching videos, the yoga videos, right? So they got the yoga videos where the girls they wear like little tight tights and be bending over and all stuff, showing their little print and all of that stuff, and they have the booty all tight and doing all kind of crazy, and then you can see the link right in there. They have a link straight to the OnlyFans. YouTube doing it too. So you can find this stuff on all platforms. It's no getting, and then X, you might as well say X. X is a corn website at this point. You got to be careful. Open up X. You might open up some shit. X is a full blown corn website, right? Instagram is softcore. X.com, I mean X, aka Twitter, right? Is basically hardcore, basically. And then YouTube leaning into the softcore. So you got to realize, bro, they doing this stuff so they can keep you on these platforms. They want to continue to control your mind. They want to continue to throw this stuff at you because a lot of men have been weakened to the point of there's no return, right? A lot of the minds have been poisoned. A lot of the men have been weakened on purpose, right? What is Snapchat then? Snapchat is, I don't know. I haven't been on Snapchat in a minute. I guess Snapchat is private corn, ninja. She can Snapchat something to you. She can Snapchat something to you. Moy says, let the women choose 20% and let the 80% of lanes be peasants and the slaves for the 20%. Yep. Snapchat is escorts, right? So you got different levels to it, right? It's different levels to it. Instagram is where you shop, right? Instagram is where you shop, right? You got some money, you got some clout, well, you can shop all day on Instagram. Hit a bitch up in the DMs or whatever, right? Snapchat, I guess it's more like digital payments. You want some pictures, you want some private pictures, you want some private videos and stuff like that. Yeah, Snapchat to me, right? X is where you get previews of all the nasty girls you found on on Instagram, ninja. Yeah, it's a whole debacle, man. Right, these social media platforms is just full blown escort websites at this point. This is full blown escort websites, right? So I don't know what to tell you, but let the women choose 20%. Let the 80% of lames be peasants and be slaves for the 20%. That's what's going to happen anyway. That's what's going to happen anyway. Only the very few. And I be trying to wake ninjas up. I be trying to tell y'all, right? Y'all better get something going on, right? It don't necessarily have to be social media, but you got to get something going. You got to get something going, right? This is the time. Y'all got to think. Y'all got to think like the wealthy, right? Are they panicking right now? Right? Are they panicking? No, because anytime there's a downturn in the economy, anytime there's a recession, oh, they're rubbing their hands like Birdman. They like, oh yeah, we about to eat. They're like, oh yeah, we about to eat. So you gotta get it. You gotta think like them. Okay, where are the opportunities? Where can I put my bucket so when a fountain starts flowing, right? My bucket starts getting filled up, right? That's how they think, right? The peasant minded, the poverty minded, the average American, the way that they think, right? Oh my God, I need, everything is falling apart. Oh my God, what can we do? Like they start panicking. So when you start panicking, you can't think right, right? When you start overly stressing, you can't think right, right? Neither do you even have the knowledge and the wisdom to think right. Tap into that Patreon, right? So they don't do the things that the wealthy do to make sure that they, put themselves in prime position, right? There's going to be opportunities all over the place, right? The opportunities hasn't yet ceased to exist. You just have to find where the opportunities are, right? You have to find where the opportunities are. I don't care if that means, Ninja, you getting a weed eater and you getting out here and, charging $5, Ninja, charging $5, to line up people's yard, Xing out the competition, Ninja. They charge $30 to do this, Ninja. I'm charging $5, Ninja. I ain't got nothing to lose, Ninja. I'm charging $5. You want me to do it or you want him to do it, right? I know it's hard out here, Ninja. You want to pay $30 and you want to pay $5. I'll do just as good as a job for the 5, right? I don't care what you got to do, as long as it's between legal means, Ninja. Right, but then at this point, Ninja, hey, you even without the legal means, I'm not vouching for it, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, Ninja. You got to do what you got to do, right? So yeah, you got to get out here and create something, right? You got to tap into your creativity, right? The creativity is what's going to win in the end, right? All this the traditional 9 to 5 system and all of that stuff, bro. That stuff is going to be null and void over the next 10 years. Right? It is creativity that's going to win. It is the builders who are going to win, the ones who can use their minds, their own sovereign minds, not working for somebody, right? Those are going to be the ones who win. Mark my words. I'm telling y'all now, those are going to be the ones who win. If you're able to use your mind, if you're able to use your creativity, right? It doesn't have to be social media, but you have to get out here and build something from your mind and bring it out to the physical world, right? But anyway, I've been talking to you guys long enough. I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. We're gonna end this off with the creed of the outlier. Shouts out to Alan. Make sure y'all go over there, tap into him. Right, shouts out to Moy. Make sure y'all check out Unfiltered Grind as well. Make sure y'all check out that Patreon down below. Make sure you come over there and sign up for the Patreon, man. Right, I'm giving you knowledge over there, dropping knowledge bombs over there, changing the minds. Right, what you need to survive in this new world, man. You know, some wisdom and knowledge that I don't really dive deep into on YouTube. Make sure you come over there and check it out. Right, creed of the outlier. I walk alone because I was never meant to follow. I was born to build what others were too weak to imagine. They rejected me for my strength, envied me for my presence, and feared the truth in my voice. So they gossiped, mocked, tried to shrink me, but I didn't bend and I didn't fold, and I won't start now. I do not chase the approval of the herd. I walk above it. I see through the mask and I speak with conviction forged in pain and clarity. Every betrayal carved focus into my soul. Every lonely night built the calluses I now wear with pride. My mission is not optional. My legacy is non-negotiable. And my time is coming. I am built for this and I will win. Creed of the outlier. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Make sure you check out that Patreon, the Book of Forbidden Knowledge, right? You get access to all 3 tiers, the After Pill Archives, the Billionaire's Row, and you get access to the Book of Forbidden Knowledge. So make sure you check out that Patreon down below, right? Follow along with the Book of Forbidden Knowledge. Make sure you come over there if you want to post as well. Make sure you come over there and post if you got some knowledge to give as well. Make sure you tap in, make a post or something like that, something that can, benefit everybody over there in the group, right? Shouts out to y'all, and this was an After Pill. Peace.